think it starts our last session, and this will be panel discussion about the EMBL opportunities for young society. And the discussion will be led by Maria Klimkiewicz from the Ministry of Science and Higher Education. Please come in. And Marcos Kanderlin, International Relations Officer at EMBL, will take part. Bartosz Wilczyński from the University of Warsaw. Anna Bartosik, Zuzanna Kaczmarska from International Institute for Cell Biology in Warsaw, former EMBL postdoc, and Katarzyna Ozdarska from the Medical University of Warsaw. So, please.
Good afternoon. We are happy to see you still here. And from my right side, I have Zuzanna Kaczmarska, who participated in postdoc programs at iPod, which Monica was talking about. So this program interdisciplinary. Then Anna Bartosik, who was pre-doc. Then successfully pre-doc, so as we heard that the success rate is like 1 for 30%. So it's really, I think, achievement. And then Bartosz Wilczyński, informatics. So it's also special, I think, for EMBL, for such programs of biology. So maybe we start from the pre-doc program, and I ask Anna Bartosik to tell us about her experience. And the question are, at what point of your career you started thinking and apply for a PhD program, and of course how it was, what challenges and what it brings to your career.
First, I would like to thank organizers for inviting me here. That's a very nice meeting. So I applied to EMBL pre-doc as a master's student at Jagiellonian University. It was back already some time ago. And at that time, so first of all, after my third year of studies, of master studies, I went for 6 weeks summer internship to Max Planck Institute of Biochemistry in Munich. And I liked it there so much that then I applied for Erasmus scholarship, and I went there for the last year of my studies. And actually, I did my master thesis based on the research I did there. And when I was in Munich, from the colleagues from the lab, I found out that there is this very nice institute in Heidelberg nearby called EMBL, and they are having a great pre-doc program for PhD studies. And I decided to just try and apply. I didn't apply to any other PhD program at that time. I applied to only one. And I was invited for an interview week, and I got the position. So it was I really had to pay a lot of attention when during the application procedure, because as Monica already said, you need to write a few essays there, short essays on your career plans and also on your current research. So you really have to pay attention to when you write it. But then the interview week was actually one of the best weeks scientifically I had in my life. It was great to interact with so many scientists because you have one-to-one discussions with all of group leaders, and you present your research, and you also discuss with them what you could do in their labs. And then for the whole 4 years of PhD studies, so partially I did it at EMBL, And then because 9 years for my boss finished when I was still a PhD student, so we moved to another institute, but that was also in Heidelberg. So I had a very close connection to EMBL till the end of my pre-doc times. I must say that it was already mentioned here that you should not be afraid of the mobility, that's one thing, but also of the changes. So I think I'm a good example here because in Krakow I worked in a monoclonal antibodies lab, and then to Munich I went to cryo-EM lab, and then I was working on 20S proteasome from archaeal bacteria, so that was something completely different. Then for PhD studies I chose a group working in yeast cell biology, which was another turn. And my boss at the interview day, he knew that I have no idea about yeast and how to work with them, and that I will have to basically learn the basics at first and then do some real research. Then after PhD studies, I went to International Institute of Molecular and Cell Biology for a postdoc in Warsaw, and then I worked on cell biology in mammalian cells. And now I'm a project manager in drug discovery company working on metabolism in oncology. So you can really do several turns in your research, and it doesn't mean that you have to stick to one topic or one model organism all the time. And I think that also the time at EMBL gave me this courage to take new topics, new research topics, and try to be flexible, because you never know what life brings. And I think this is one of the best things I learned at EMBL: flexibility and courage. Thank you.
And maybe now Bartosz, like a participant of postdoc programs, because I think iPod is the newest one, so we had the latest.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm not sure if I'm a little bit of an outlier here, obviously, with working in the mathematics department. I don't really belong probably to any discipline, because I did my master's in computer science, then a PhD in mathematics, and I went for a postdoc at EMBL. I actually applied for an iPod, but I didn't get it. But it's not a. I mean, in a way, this is another argument for people to apply, because I didn't get in the iPad position because there was a better candidate for this one, but my application was good enough that it caught the attention of one of the group leaders who was involved in this project, and in the end it turned out to be a very nice work that we did together. And it's really, as Anya said, it is a place where you constantly are faced with different challenges, in the sense that if it's really a place where people are tackling big questions, which means that you need people with different ideas, with different backgrounds, and there's always something unexpected coming up. It can be an engineering problem with some new technique, or it can be a mathematical problem suddenly popping up, or a new statistical approach that needs to be taken. So it's very frequently new things pop up, and it's a very good place to be if somebody is willing to take on new challenges, because I think this is the key thing, that you need to like to be challenged, because it's definitely not a place to have a let's say calm and peaceful time. It's always something new happening and new people coming, and it's crowded. But it's a great experience, and I would also, given the fact that I'm not really a biologist, maybe a computational biologist, if at all, I think that this is really maybe under-advertised how interdisciplinary EMBL and its outstations are. There's physicists, chemists, mathematicians, statisticians, biologists, biotechnologists, all kinds of scientists who are really working on the newest and the most challenging problems in molecular biology. So I think that this is the common denominator, that there's people who are interested in the big questions. And I'm not sure if any of my experience is relevant technically. I think it's again, kind of to reiterate, the courage is needed to kind of get yourself out there and talk to people. And if you are interested and you have the passion for this, then you will find probably somebody who will want to work with you.
Thank you very much. And then I would like to ask Susanna to take the floor and to say about her experience, about this newest, and I think, no, I shouldn't say the most interesting, but just a very modern program, I think, of EMBL.
Yes, so I also would like to thank the organizers for the invitation. And yes, I applied for the APOD. Unfortunately, it was not the 4th generation APOD. It was the first or second. I think first, and then it became a second, but I'm not really sure. And when I was applying, I had to prepare a project, but in fact, the project was already, somehow the idea of the project was developed by the first partner. And so in my case, I had 3 partners that composed of this interdisciplinary project. It was combined, the biology, biophysics and chemistry was combined together. So I found it really interesting because there are not many projects or PhD, postdoc programs that combine like interdisciplinary areas. And I found it very interesting now, the APOD 4th generation, when also clinics and industry are involved in this program, and museums, I guess. You didn't mention about it, but I found it in the leaflet.
Yes, so I can also work with the natural history.
Ah, yes, you told, yes, you said. Ah, yes, right, yes. So what I would like to stress about is that you don't need like 100 publications like in the other panel. Some people said that they have like 14 first author publications, or I don't know, at least few. In my case, I didn't have even one first author publication when I was applying, and I got the APOD fellowship. So I think the important thing is how to sell the project, to show that you are very interested in, to know exactly what you are going to do and how to tackle the problems in the future. And I think this is, in my opinion, the most important when you're applying for APOD. And it's not important that you have, maybe it is, but not in my case, that you have, I don't know, 10 first author publications. So I would like to encourage you, don't be scared if you don't have any publications. Maybe your project now, I know now you have to develop your own project, but if you are really interested in this area, I'm sure you will be able to create something innovative and important for life sciences. And what I would like to say more, what I like about EMBL, that is, there is like really excellent core facilities. You have like many possibilities to develop collaborations, because they are, like Monika said, there are 80 groups that know each other, and it's very easy to get in touch with them, to use their facility, their knowledge, their expertise. And I think it's not that difficult like when you are applying in EMBO. You don't know anything, you have to find everything by yourself. Here you know that the people you are contacting with, they are like top of the top in Europe. So what else I can say? Yes, one more thing, that it's a very generous fellowship. Maybe you don't know, but it really is. And also not only for you, but your family. If you have a family or children or a partner, you can have support for them as well. especially in Heidelberg when you have a childcare and other additional help, I guess. So I really encourage you to apply. It's not so difficult as may seem to be, and that's all I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, as we heard before, there is Polish community somehow, because it's maybe it's difficult, but it's not impossible. And we have some Polish community in EMBL. So I would like to ask Marco, who works for international relations, to tell us how the community looks like and what they present and what is the potential for future.
Okay, so first of all, again, thanks to the Ministry for organizing an event like this. Like talking to people also during the coffee break, it really feels like this was much needed and much appreciated. And so I can comment on what to expect when you come to EMBO, and then I will move to the Polish community. So we said before in Wojciech's presentation that we have many member states, actually 27. But what is special about EMBO is that it's not based on quotas, which means that it doesn't is based on excellence, which means that it's not that a specific country puts funds the budget of EMBO with a certain amount, and then it gets certain number of staff, certain number of positions, etc. This is really just excellence based. And when you come to EMBO, although we have 27 member states, you will find people coming from more than 80 countries around the world, just because we're based on excellence. So this was a really visionary approach that the founders of EMBO had at the time. Where do Poland stand in all of this? This morning we discussed a bit poor participation, problems related with participation in the EMBO fellowships. But at EMBO, I have to say that we have a large community of Polish researchers, and they're really connected with the EMBO community and largely benefiting. And when the idea of EMBO is that, as we said, we're based on short-term contracts, so ideally usually it's up to 9 years. So it's really a place where you come, you boost your career, and then ideally you go back to your country to try to spread the message and implement the best practice that you have learned at EMBO. So I think that you heard Wojciech speaking today. He's a good example of a young group leader coming from Poland. We also have another group leader coming from Poland, Jan Kozinski, who's also a structural biologist working in Hamburg. So they could be like your primary source of inspiration, what you could do, what could be, you could be enabled at EMBO. Then there are also other aspects related. Once you come to EMBO, you're becoming part of a larger family, and right now I've checked that we have roughly 140 alumni from Poland around the world already, which is also something to mention. And you heard some of them speaking. I think that you can feel really the excitement and the passion that they put when they speak about EMBL, because it's really a place that it's a special place that really enables you to do great things. And I could maybe mention a few other things more on the larger collaboration that we have with the Polish institutes. So maybe in the universities that you are currently enrolled with, or other research centers in Poland. We also have a very good collaboration because, for instance, we had more than 100 user visits to our structural biology sites in Hamburg and Grenoble in the last 3 years from Polish scientists. so who came and performed experiments there, or like I'll check the number of the use of our databases at EMBL ABI, and this number has quadrupled in the last 3 years. So there is constant collaboration, joint grants, joint application, of course. A large number of Polish researchers coming to EMBL just for specific courses or conferences, more than 160 participants in the last 3 years. So there is really collaboration going on, and there is a lot of potential. Although you don't, become EMBL staff because you don't get the opportunities. Still, there are opportunities there for you collaborating from a national institute here in Poland. So I think that I would reinforce once again the message that EMBL is open. Give it a try. It's not impossible in any way, although it's excellent. There might be many opportunities there for you.
Thank you very much. And what Marco said, that this is when participation in program in postdoc or pre-doc program doesn't give the position in the EMBL. So everybody who completes such course need to go further, to go to other institution. And but you mentioned Jan Kosiński, who is exception. He was so good that finally he is employed in EMBL in Hamburg. So it is our also satisfaction that we have such good Polish people that EMBL make some choice exception for them. Okay. Now I would like to ask Katarzyna, how you see the potential of Polish people of PhD, potential PhD students, why they don't participate so much, but we have, at least we have like 8% now, yes? But maybe it could be better. What are obstacles, and also for postdoc programs?
Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Katarzyna Gdansk, and I'm the member of National PhD Student Representation. I'm not connected with EMBO and EMBL, but so I think that the problem why not so many Polish PhD students are applying for the fellowships like this is like the lack of the information. So we, for example, I was asking some of my friends, my PhD students who I know, and most of them haven't heard about this, about the fellowships. They got the information from me because I said to them that I'm going to the event like this. So I think that thanks to the events which are organized like today, it's a very good good event because we can get to know about the fellowships. We can see the people who are applying for the fellowships, who got them. We can like see the real people. We can touch them and to know that okay, it's possible. And I think that after the event like this, everybody from us can say, okay, I can try. I saw the people, I've heard them. So I think that the events like this are very important. The next obstacle is maybe that Polish people, generally they are afraid of going abroad. They want to have the professional stability, so they are afraid, okay, I will go for 2 years, but what after? So they prefer to stay in one place, and they are afraid of leaving to another country, to another lab, but they don't realize that it's very important to be a good researcher, who has to go abroad to see other laboratories, to get the new experience, to gain the new experience and so on.
Thank you very much. Yes, it was. Yes, so I think the impression is like from the first panel, that people prefer stability and staying at Poland and at institutes. But we all know, I think, that without international cooperation, the achievements are not the possible, the real achievements.
Now maybe it's better. More people want to go abroad to see the new laboratories and.
Okay, so saying that, now we pass to the audience. If you have any questions.
I've got a question for Anna. How did you end up going to so many places, so many different specialities? Was it more like your supervisor encouraged you, or did you look for something that could develop you and that you could just go into something new to expand your qualifies?
Okay, no? Okay. So I must say that it was a bit of luck also included. But you know, when I started applying was 12 years ago. So science in Poland looked a bit different than it is now. And these opportunities to go for Erasmus fellowships were just appearing, and just first students were going abroad. And I think from my generation, a lot of people really wanted to go abroad to see other places. And the 6-week summer internship I had in Munich, it opened my eyes because I could see labs equipped in an excellent way, people and doing nice research, and I attended a lot of talks because there was also some lectures at that time from really top scientists, and this really opened my eyes, and I wanted more. So when I went to EMBL, this was very exciting because you also attend many lectures. There are renowned speakers coming and giving talks, and you also network and you go to conferences. It's so multidisciplinary that you also learn a lot and you see different opportunities. And I mean, I was not afraid of learning new things in the end, and I had motivation, and I think from the beginning of my PhD studies, I knew I wanted to end up in industry. When I was applying and during the interview week, I was asked the question, so what is your plan for your future career plan? And I said, okay, I want to do my PhDs here at EMBL, and then I would like to come back to Poland and spread the word and share with the experience I gained and with science I learned. And that's exactly what I did, although I didn't know at the interview week that it will end up like this. So then I came back. I came back to Warsaw. Also I had a nice fellowship there from my. But it was all proactively. I was looking. It was not like someone was telling me, "Yeah, you should go there." After my PhD, I finished. I was just looking on web pages and searching for open positions for postdocs. I also searched in the industry, but I was not successful in industry at that point. So I thought, okay, let's do postdoc, because I saw the problem that coming from yeast biology, and I didn't have experience that was expected in industry. So I thought, okay, I need some mammalian cell culture, learn more in this direction, and then I will try again into industry. And this strategy worked. But it's all, it requires from the person to be proactive and to actively look around and go to conferences, network with people, see what they are doing, what are the opportunities, where are good institutes, because of course I would always encourage everybody to go to EMBL, because it's an experience, it's an adventure, it's a really nice place. But there are also other institutes that you could also try. I don't know if this answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, some more questions from the audience? Okay, then we still have the time after the meeting for the talks discussion with the coffee. We can just say that you shouldn't be, everybody of us encourage you to apply, to try, and even if you don't want to go for such long time, like 4 years, you may always try to apply for shorter possibilities. But as it was said before, EMBL is open-minded, the research is on top level, so it's even worth to go for like 2 weeks, 3 months to talk with people and to make contacts. So thank you very much. I think thank you panelists, and I give.
Thank you for your talks. And now we are coming to the end of our conference. I think we have learned quite a lot about the EMBO activities and MBL activities. EMBO activities, very prestige long-term fellowships, and we're encouraged to apply. And we're told that the quality matters and the number of publications is enough to have 1 or 2 good papers to apply. And this is important to you to know this. And also short-term fellowships, which in my opinion is relatively easy to obtain, and they are very good just to go for months, 2 or 3, to stay in the other lab and to learn quite a lot, learn new techniques. And we have now opportunity to listen about MBL activities, pre-doc post PhD program. Well, success rate is not very high, but you have to take your chance and try. And also postdoctoral studies at MBL, which looks great. And it was very interesting to listen to the information about the program. So we learned quite a lot. And in the end, I would like to thank the ministry for financing this event. It was nice to have money for organization of such thing. It was easy and to organize, having money. And I would like to thank also all the people who are involved at the Uniwersytet for organization, I mean people from the Dean's office. And I would like also to thank all the speakers who take their time and came and give their talks. So thank you to all of you. And now I would like to invite you for, I think, a glass of wine. So thank you once more.